What's going on, you bunch of heretics? Grab your paint pots, grab your recaf, and let's get some paint on that ever-growing pile of potential. It's here. The heresy is my therapy. Slapchop tutorials. Today, super quick. Well, I say super quick. Definitely quicker than the Grombinder video, that's for sure. A quick and easy way for you to kind of slapchop and slapchop and paint and speed paint your plasma weapons. A bit of a different way of doing things, but hopefully you should get the desired effect to help your plasma weapons look great. This can be done on plasma pistols, plasma rifles, heavy plasma weapons, but we're just trying to create that plasma sort of look and feel. Alright, as always, everything you need will be in the description below. So yes, without further ado, let's get to it. Hey everyone, so here he is. Now you may remember this guy before from when we did the capes and cloaks videos. We're going to continue using this guy. Probably going to use him as a bit of a demo piece for lots of stuff. He will eventually be a Space Wolves captain for a kill team. So yes. Anyway, so here we have our plasma weapons, our plasma pistol that we're going to use today. Just some really easy ways. There are going to be some actual metallic bits where we'll use our silvers, just an easy way of doing that. But the main focus is really, let me get something thin and everything here. Obviously, why would I? So like our main focus point is going to be obviously these areas here. This is going to be silver, but it's going to be this part, and of course this under area here that we're going to be focusing for our silver elements. So yes, right. Anyway, as always, we're going to start off with our three-tier system. We're going to start with our Administratum Grey. Like I say, we're going to put some on the brush, as always, using my Techlon Tiger Drybrushes from Chronicle Cards, Chronicle RPG. We're taking it all off. Remember guys, we're building it slowly but surely. Again, we take everything off, and we just start to create the small circles. Again, I know I'm doing it as an individual point, because obviously I'd be doing the whole model like this, and we will do eventually. However, just for the sake of ease today, we're just focusing on this one area. Okay, first area kind of built up, as you can see. That's all done, and we've created our first layer. As always, don't forget, between each layer we just give it a quick brush with our large dry brush that we're not too fussed about. Right, next up we're going to get our Ulthuan Grey. As always, you know the routine, troops. Yeah, we just get a little bit on the brush, and again we are happy that we're going to go, as always with these, along the tops, along the tops of the model, nice and light, nice and bright, easy as that. Okay, nice and bright, easy as that. Now for this one, usually I say don't go underneath the model, you know, for the shadows and stuff, but for this one, because of the plasma and the effect we want to kind of create today, troops, you can. You absolutely can. Alright, but we want a nice, smooth, light effect. Alright. I was pretty happy with that. As you can see, nice and light. Hopefully you guys can see that quite nicely. Well, while we continue on, we're going to grab our Corax White or White Scar. So if you haven't got White Scar, use Corax White, either or. They're, in essence, like the difference between the two is like so. I mean, you look at it, golden demon level differences. To be honest with you, and here we're just trying to create a nice model for our for the tabletop. And like I say, we've just taken it all off again, and again, just along the tops, concentrating a little bit more on those plasma, on the sort of that plasma sort of like area. Okay, and again, like I say, don't worry too much about some of the other parts of the model, because that will be getting painted silver. Alright, when we come to doing it, but for the time being we want to get all in here. That's lovely. Lovely jubbly. There we go. Quick dust off. And there it is. All done. Ready to paint. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Right, okay, for this next part we're going to start getting the actual colours of the weapon, the base colours. We're going to need our Lamian medium, and we're going to need our Flesh Tearers red, and I'm using just a thin 0 McCann brush from the Techlon Tiger Drybrush range. Again, we're just placing it on our wet palette, and we're going to thin this down, and we're going to build the layers from there. Jeepers. I did shake this off camera and had a bit of a technical issue with my technical paint, but we don't need to go into that. Anyway, probably a 1-to-1 mix, as always, a 50-50 mix of the two, and all I'm going to do is just on this part of the weapon system, just on the casing really. Okay, so we're just placing this on the casing, on the back here, on the top. Okay, easy that. And all you're going to do, okay, I would probably say we're just going to go with 2 or 3 thin coats, okay, on here. All right, 2 or 3 thin coats on here, and we're just going to build that up a few layers at a time. Okay guys, so a few layers at a time, like we did with the cloak. If you want to do Blood Angels first, you can do, that's not an issue, but for me I'm just going to go straight with Flesh Tearers red today. And like I say, if I want to have it darker, I'll just keep adding to those layers to get it nice and dark. I reckon you're going to want minimum of 2, probably a maximum of 3 or 4. All right, to get the nice effect that you guys are going to want for this weapon system. Okay, right then, as you can see, the red's all been applied. It looks rather nice, got a nice tone to it. I'm quite happy with that, and I could always go back if I want to, if I felt to, but for the time being, I don't really feel like I need to. Right, next up, we're now going to get some Tallassar Blue, and we're going to get our Lamian medium again, and we're just going to, like I say, this is going to be a really thin layer of Tallassar Blue. Okay, super thin layer of Tallassar Blue on here. So all I want to do, Tallassar Blue in this recess, all around here, easy as that. This is literally as easy as that, and you're gonna let the white that we've done earlier, that's gonna basically fill in the area that we want. So like I say, nice and loose. This one needs to be really thin. Don't go in too heavy with this. Okay, don't go in too heavy with this. Just thin layers built up. And then we're going to do the same underneath. Placing those thin layers underneath the miniature as well. Okay, nice and thin. Right, so I'm hoping, move that out of the way, I am hoping you can already kind of see that. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to quickly blast over the Zandhri Dust, add the silver, and then we're going to just kind of tidy up that. We'll create like a little easy kind of glow if you want to. But realistically, actually, as a very quick and easy way, you could in theory leave it like that, and I think that looks quite nice. But what we will do is we're just going to create a little bit of a glow with the Zandhri Dust, and we will also just add a bit more onto the plasma areas as well. Alright, and then we'll do something really cool with the actual plasma pistol, like the heat. Disapparator. Disapparation, that's not a real thing, Dan. That is not a real thing. But basically these heat vents would be, we're going to create like a bit of a a worn effect with that, like we did for the Inferno squads. Right, as always, I'm going to use my thin dry brush for this one, guys. Okay, you want your F1 Jiba, if that's what you're using in this range, but otherwise just a small dry brush. And remember, guys, we put it on the brush, and as always, you know the routine, troops, we take it off the brush. So there is literally next to nothing on there. I don't know if you can see that or not, probably not. It's not feeling right, okay? And then just literally off your hand. Remember, guys, as always, we are literally just feathering this. Okay, we're just feathering this. Nice and easy, all over the red. Super, super light, super, super easy. Nothing wild. As always, don't go hard at this. Just literally nice and light, so you can just see that highlight change. Make sure you're going on the bottom, as we've done before. Okay, on the sides, just everywhere that it would be. We just make sure that we do that. And we make sure we go super, super light. Okay, okay, literally feather dusting it. Okay, cool. So next, to create a bit more of a glow around the outside, we're going to take our white scar, and again shake it up, and we're going to just take the tiniest amount on our brush, and we're going to, on our dry brush, sorry, and we're going to take everything off, taking it all off. Okay, and then all you're going to do on the blue area is we're just going to again feather dust it. Underneath, feather dust it. What I want you to make sure that you do though is just catch the edges of those bottom parts, and that will make some sense in a moment. Okay, again on the top, just feather dust it with that white, and if you catch the edges of the weapon, perfect. Okay, because we're going to create that glow. Carrying on, remember our mix from earlier on? We're not going to use that, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our Pilar Glacier. What a lovely name, Pilar Glacier. And all we're going to do with our Pilar Glacier, we are absolutely pretty much from the pot onto our wet palette. Okay, and all we're going to do is we're just going to place that in and around those areas. Okay, so along the tops. Okay, along the tops, and I want it to be a bit not messy as such, but I do want it to be, again, this is quite a light paint, you know, you can go, I want you to kind of go on those edges that you had earlier on. So where the edges of the red on the red are, feel free to go in there, because that's now going to start to create a bit more, just ever so slightly, not massively, a bit of that glow. Okay, just ever so slightly, just all round, over the tops, just in amongst those areas, just move it all around. Okay, hopefully you'll start to see that kind of come to fruition. Then we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to go back to our Tallassar Blue. Okay, next up we're taking our Tallassar Blue, and we're just going to add a little bit more into the mix that we had earlier. Nothing too heavy, nothing too wild. Okay, and all we're going to do is just very gently round the edges where we had before, where you've kind of like dry brush highlighted it. You're just going to start to add a little bit round those edges, bit of a glow. Okay, almost along the tops, and a little bit along the bottom. Okay, again, nice and easy, nice and relaxed in the edges, and just, again, all you're doing is just creating a bit of a glow. You don't need to be too over the top where it's all going everywhere. Just along the edges, along the tops, where now you start to see a bit of a glow and a bit of a blend. I know this camera's not doing the best job in the world. I'll just take that down a notch. Hopefully you can see that a bit better. But again, where I'm going into the tops, just feeding that blue, so it's just creating a bit of a blue hue all around those areas. And again, if it sits nicely in those recess areas, it will look great. Alright, hopefully you can see how that's been done on there. I'm hoping that kind of comes across well, as like a bit of a glow. If it's not worked too well, I apologise, but hopefully it has. And then again, same along the bottoms, just where you've had a bit of that dry brushing, all you're doing is just simply adding this this to it. And again, on the bottoms, there we go. Hopefully that's come out all right. Like I say, a bit of a bluish glow, nothing too wild, nothing over the top. And then if you want to, again, you can just add a little bit more of the lighter stuff into some of the recess areas of the actual plasma parts itself, and that will just kind of keep it in that bluish hue. All right, cool. Let's get some silver on there. So we'll continue on. No point in stopping for the break. We'll take our Iron Warriors. Okay, our Iron Warriors. Give it a good shake up. And again, all we're doing with Iron Warriors, again, onto the palette, onto our palette, and all the areas that we want to be metal are going to be in that Iron Warrior. So again, on this area here, sort of weapon casing where the extractor and the ventilation vents are. Extractor ventilation vents, that sounds more like what they would be. Ventilation vents, when you over pressurized, it blows your hands off because they've not worked. Again, in the sort of what would be like a cartridge casing, so recharge on the back here. And if you want to do the handle silver, you can do the handle silver, and then the same again, just on the casing at the back as well. And again, this only needs to be either 1 or 2 thin coats. Go 2 thin coats, you'll be good to go. Right, that is our metallics in and added. And now we're going to do is get our Nuln Oil. Nuln Oil, you can pretty much go straight from the pot, but I like to maybe put a bit on the old wet palette. And all you're doing is just literally placing that Nuln Oil straight onto all those metal areas that you've just done. Literally, that's it. No, there is no secret to this. It's just placing it on, and the liquid talent will do the work for you. Hence its name, liquid talent. This Nagrax Earth shade. Oh man, they work wonders. With the Nuln Oil dried, all we're going to do is going to get some Stormhost Silver, and we're just going to. We are going to lightly dry brush it on there, but on some bits I'm just going to. Oh no, idiot! I'm a little bit there. Sorry, idiot. See, we do get it wrong sometimes, troops. We really do. Yeah. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to, with the Mithril Silver. This is quite a light silver. So again, all you're doing just very quickly, just edge highlighting, super quick, super easy with your small brush. Dotting around. I'm up here filming, idiot. I should be down here. Come on, Dan. I have to admit, guys, feel free to give this a dislike because this has not been some of my best work. I will be honest, troops. I do apologise. Yes, all we're doing is very quickly just getting around the edges, just popping bits on there, and again, just on here, bit of an edge highlight. We are going to cover this anyway, but we just want a little bit of a glow up, just to kind of make it pop just that little bit. Okay, so you're almost like using this layer brush as a bit of a, not as a dry brush per se, but just to kind of create some lightness to the model. Happy with that? Easy as that, guys. And there you go. Now, as before, again, you can just leave it as it is like this, that'll be more than adequate for the tabletop. But I'm just going to try something here. You can stop here, end it here, but I'm going to create like a bit of a burn mark. So as we've done before, we're going to need our we're going to want our Iyanden Yellow. We're going to want our Tallassar Blue, and we're also going to want our Shyish Purple. Where are you? I am never prepared for some of these videos sometimes, and I honestly, guys, can only apologise. Shyish Purple. Okay. That is what we're going to do. It's the effect we're going to create, and we're going to blend that together. All right. 2 minutes, Heretics. We need to talk about today's video sponsor, Chronicle. As many of you know, I have been using the Techlon Tiger Drybrushes for my Slapchop and many of the Slapchop videos. I love them. I cannot recommend them enough, which is why I've partnered up with Chronicle, and they are giving channel viewers 20% off site-wide on all of their products. Just use the code HERESY20 and you will get 20% off all of everything you buy with Chronicle. Everything you need to know where to find it all is in the description below. So yes, these I definitely recommend for my Slapchop videos, and hopefully you guys will enjoy them too. Back to the feature video, the tutorial, whatever it is I'm doing. Right then, so first of all, Iyanden Yellow, okay, and this is going to be, again, just we're going to place this onto our wet palette. Okay, all you're going to do is just along the model, okay, along this edge or along this area, all we're doing is we're just creating a bit of a burn mark. Okay, so the whole thing in essence is going to be very thinly done yellow. Okay, yellow, yellow, yellow. Don't worry, this will make more sense in a moment, okay? But it's a very, very thin layer, and the reason why I put it on my wet palette is just so that it will stay quite nice and light. Right, that's that done. Again, Shyish Purple now. Very, very, again, same again like we've done on some of the previous ones before. I want this really nice and thin. So again, strap my wet palette, and I'm going to take as much of it off as possible. Okay, so just like that. All I'm doing now is just halfway between, just down the model, and I am going to blend it in with the yellow. Okay, I'm going to blend it in with the yellow. If it's dry or not, okay, it doesn't matter, absolutely fine. All we're doing is just getting that purple now into that yellow area, okay, and just creating that separation between the two. Okay, so again, it may be a couple of layers that you might need because you can probably still see a lot of the yellow in there, and that's fine. So we're just literally down the middle here. Okay. So again, a couple of layers on that, and then we'll finally do the blue. Okay, hopefully you can see that okay. I apologize if I've not done this as close as you would have liked it. This isn't the best camera for zooming stuff in. But the more it dries, the more you'll be able to get that nice and close and in there. Remember, don't forget to go along the bottoms as well. Okay, to create that burn, because remember you've got the plasma weapon parts down at the bottom. Again, all I'm doing is just down the model, just getting this blue done. This purple done. Okay. As you can see, all starting to kind of come into effect. All right. So with that done, we're then going to get our Tallassar Blue, and all we're then going to do is with the Tallassar Blue, it's just at the very end of the weapon system. So you can take that old stuff if you want. We can just create a fresh area for ourselves here. And again, we're just literally going to go around the end of the weapon system. Okay, so around the end, and just these final areas along the front. And all this is just creating that scorch marks from where the plasma, I mean, like I say, it's not for everyone. You know, if you don't want it, that's absolutely fine, makes complete sense. But for some, they just want maybe that bit more added detail. You know, I think this looks, it's quite a cool way of adding that. And you'll just see, hopefully you can see, it's probably a bit better on this side actually. We've gone from that blue, this blue to purple to a yellow. And then afterwards, all we're going to do, we're just going to apply a little bit of a silver dry brush just over the top. Alright, but again, it's wet blending area, and you'll just see that just quite nicely. The purple and the blue blended, the purple and the yellow then blended, and you'll just see that kind of take form. Alright, well, I hope so anyway. Okay guys, so there you can see, hopefully you can see that okay. That is the plasma weapon pretty much done. And all we're going to do with this, very simply, is we are going to get our Stormhost Silver, and all you're going to do is just, and I mean delicately on, dry brush, take it all off, and I mean take absolutely as much as physically possible off. Okay, and all you're going to do is just very gently, just a little bit of a highlight just on the top. And I mean this is like super light. Okay, like literally just brushing, like just, I don't even know the best way to describe it, but we are literally ever so gently just flicking it on, okay, and you'll see that go on there. Alright, and that is basically it guys. Hopefully you found this video useful. Like I said, there's lots of different points that you can get to go, actually no, I quite like it there, I like it there. So this is like the full version of it. You could stop before that if you really wanted to. But that is basically your plasma weapon all done. I'm sorry for the way it's been filmed today. It's not as close up as maybe you'd like it, and I suspect there may be a few dislikes, and that's absolutely fine. Completely get it. But hopefully if you have liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you've tried it out and how you've gotten on with it. And yeah, hopefully this has been an alright video. There'll be plenty more to come, don't worry. But yes, there you are. An easy way to slap chop your plasma weapons, or slap chop or speed paint. Alright, cheers everyone, see you in the next one, bye bye.